Thank you to Christopher Arnold for these 3 suggestions. Hello everybody, this is JT Productions and welcome back to another preview and prediction video. Today I will be doing the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Last season, Notre Dame went 11-2 with a loss in the Fiesta Bowl to Oklahoma State. Now, if you haven't noticed, if you're just new to college football, Notre Dame's not in a conference. Why, you might ask? Well, nobody really knows. They probably just don't want to be because they don't want to have to play a conference championship at the end of the season. But who am I to judge? Anyways, Notre Dame lost 2 games last season. One was to Cincinnati, who eventually made a playoff spot, and of course to Oklahoma State, like I said. They had wins against teams like USC, North Carolina, Wisconsin, Purdue, Florida State, and Virginia Tech. Now, they did struggle in a lot of these games. They struggled even against Toledo early in the season. They had quarterback Jack Cohn, who went to the NFL last year, who did well, very well, I might add, who transferred in from Wisconsin and got benched for Graham Mertz, who, if y'all been following along, I'm not a big fan of. So, let's see who they got back here. Wide receiver, they have Avery Davis, graduate, Joe Wilkins, graduate, and Lorenzo Styles, another graduate. At running back, they have Chris Tyree, a junior who should be very good. Michael Mayer, who could be one of the best tight ends in college football, because we all know who the best tight end in college football is. Brock back. Anyways, they have sophomore quarterback Tyler Buckner, who got some significant reps last year against I believe Oklahoma State in the later bit of the game, but he was always switching in and out with Jack Cohn. The offensive line, like always, Notre Dame's offensive lines are always pretty good. They have Jarrett Patterson, a graduate at offensive center, Josh Lugg, a graduate at right guard, Blake Fisher, right tackle, Joe Alt, left tackle, and Andrew Kristofic, at junior at left guard. So the offense should be about the same. Not to mention, sorry, I haven't missed this already. Brian Kelly, their longtime head coach, went to LSU for this next season. So, their new head coach is blanking on his name. Hold on just a second. Marcus Freeman, who has been there a long time with the Notre Dame staff. So I have trust that he can get some stuff done. On defense, they have Howard Cross, nose tackle, Jason Ademelio, graduate at D tackle, Riley Mills Jr. at defensive end, Isaiah Foskey at linebacker, Maris Taliafau, and J.D. Bertroud and Jack Kaiser, all seniors at linebacker. In the secondary, they got transfer senior Brandon Joseph from Northwestern, who's going to be a vital piece to that secondary, who will be taking over for Kyle Hamilton, who was their star-studded player until he went to the draft last year. Anyways, the defense should be fine. Team all around, lots of talent for Notre Dame. Now, let's see how they'll do in their schedule with new head coach Marcus Freeman. To start out his tenure as the Notre Dame head coach, they're on the road in Columbus, Ohio to take on Ohio State. You're not going to win in the shoe in your first ever game as a head coach. Not under Ryan Day, not under Urban Meyer, not under any head coach who coached at Ohio State during their heyday. So that's a loss to start the year. So you're 0-1. You play Marshall week 2. You'll get a good win there. So 1-1, and you have a big game against Cal week 3. Cal, talent, nothing really special, but they're, I think, going to be a pretty good team this year. So I think you're going to get a win, but it's going to be a hard-fought win against Cal. 2-1, going into a game at North Carolina, to where you won only in just because of Kyron Williams last year. And North Carolina lost their quarterback, but they have some good ones there too. Mac Brown's a great head coach. If it was in Notre Dame, if it was in South Bend, I'd probably lean more towards y'all. But since it's in Chapel Hill, I'm going to have to give it to North Carolina. I think Mac Brown's in the right direction. Ever since he got there, they've been going in the right direction. So I think you start the season 2-2 going into your bye week. Come out of that bye week and go on the road to a neutral site in Las Vegas to take on BYU. BYU's a dangerous team, guys. Listen, Jaron Hall, great quarterback, game changer. I think y'all lose to BYU. BYU's going to be popping off wins against Power 5 opponents just like that. So I think that you start the season 2-3 after your bye week and after you play BYU. October 15th, you play Stanford. I think you'll get a win there. I think you're more talented than Stanford, and you're in South Bend, so I think that's a plus. So you're back to 3-3. Then you have UNLV come to town, win. UNLV's nothing compared to Notre Dame, so that's 5-3. You're at Syracuse. It's the only dome stadium in the Power 5, but you're going to get a win. Syracuse is no Notre Dame. So that's hold on. That would be 5-3. I'm sorry. 5-3 for Notre Dame. Then you have a big game against Clemson in South Bend. I think your offense and defense is going to be enough to slow down and stop Clemson's offense. Maybe get a couple of turnovers and score a little bit with Michael Mayer. He's going to be a match. He is going to be a matchup nightmare. So I think you get a win in South Bend against Clemson to go to 6-3. Yeah, 6-3. Then you play your yearly game against Navy. You'll get a win. That's 7-3. Play Boston College at home. Boston College is going to be a good team. However, I don't know, dude. This is a toss-up, honestly. But since you're in South Bend, I'll give it to you. I think you win against Boston College and go to 8-3 before going on the road to LA Coliseum to play USC. And I think you get a win. By this point in the season, USC's depth and the trenches is going to be dwindling down because of injury and fatigue and everything. And with the recruiting that Brian Kelly did at Notre Dame, and Marcus Freeman's been there through all of it, I think you get a win against USC in LA to finish the season 9-3 in Marcus Freeman's first year. Not a bad first season. First year head coaches dream of going to get 9 to 10 wins in their first season. So I would say this would be a successful season. Not up to Notre Dame standards, but I'd say you'd be grateful not to be a team like, let's say, Stanford or Cal or teams like that. So anyways, thank you all so much for watching. I enjoy doing these videos just to see y'all interact and with comments and such like that. So just let me know more teams to do down in the comments. And I'll try to get all the FBS teams done by August, the last week of August, week 0. So, thank you all. Have a great day, and go Dogs.